What's up, everybody? Welcome to Casa Bonnie. It's your girl Bonnie Scotch, and I wanted to quickly bring you a review for RuPaul's Drag Race. This is All Stars 8, Episode 4. And before I get into the episode, I wanted to make a quick church announcement. I made an appearance on Jaden XD, the podcast, this week. So shout out to Jaden XD for having me. You can definitely check that episode out on patreon.com/jadenxg. All right, so let's go ahead and get right on into this episode. The name of this episode is Scream Queens, and this is an acting challenge. I want to start off by bringing up the preview. We start the episode with previously on RuPaul's Drag Race, and then they show us some bits from the previous episode. We have an alliance between Jimbo and Heidi, Candy, Heidi, and Jimbo, Heidi and Lala, Candy, and Jimbo. So we're going to talk more about this later, but there's definitely a reason that I brought this up, okay? So to start, we are back in the workroom, and we're talking about Darian being in the bottom three times, and it's feeling like at this point Darian is definitely going to have to win this next challenge to be back in the good graces of not only the judges but the girls as well. Jessica confronts the girls and she asks them how they feel about her winning this past challenge, and basically everybody gave her like, listen, congratulations girl, but we didn't think that you were going to win. Jessica doesn't give a damn, and she's like, she just doesn't care. And I'm not mad at that. I love Jessica Wilde. I love her attitude. That's the right attitude to have in a situation like this, because something like that could very easily go to your head and you could start doubting yourself. And we always see these moments season after season where your inner saboteur comes out and you get in your head, and any little thing can throw off your game. So I'm just glad that Jessica has her head in it. For this acting challenge, we are split up into 3 teams. We have Darian, James, and Alexis on team 1, Heidi, Lala, and Kahana on team 2, and we have Candy, Jessica, and Jimbo on team 3. So Darian takes the lead in this challenge, and she explains her idea. It didn't sound that funny to me, but because Darian and James were going so hard for it, I'm thinking, okay, they're the comedy queens. They know it's funny. They'll be able to make it fun. They'll be able to make it funny. Alexis voices that this idea sounds convoluted. It does, to be fair. There is no alternative idea that is presented, by the way. Heidi takes the team lead in her group. It sounded like a great idea to me. Jimbo takes the team lead with their group. This is a play on Carrie, and Candy shoots down pretty much everything that Jimbo throws out. Candy wants to be the puppeteer. She wants to be the producer. She wants to say no to everything and throw out only her ideas, which, by the way, I can appreciate somebody presenting an alternative idea when they don't agree with something, but it has to make sense. She's throwing out that one of the pit crew members would be the murderer. The murderer is a central role, and Jimbo pointed that out. Like, we're the stars of this show. Why would the pit crew be taking up a main role? See, it's just that Candy wants to be right, and she wants to be in the front, and she wants to be in control of everything that she's willing sometimes to not even make sense. So we'll come back to this. We are in the green screen testing. We see that Candy, Jimbo, and Jessica are quite raunchy in their presentation with Michelle. Michelle has to pull it back in, rein it back in. We see Kahana, Heidi, and Lala. Not my kind of comedy. Looking at Lala and Heidi the first time that I watched this episode, because I watched it twice. I watched it the first time for my own enjoyment and the second to take notes, because I realized when I was doing these reviews that it's helpful to watch twice because there's a lot that you miss. I did not watch twice for the last episode, and there was a lot that I missed. And then I went back and I watched it again for the Jaden XD episode, and I was like, oh wow, I missed that. Anyway, I'm gonna be completely honest. When I saw Heidi and Lala up there, it reminded me of those like really old school, offensive cartoons about black people. And I just was really uncomfortable watching it. Like I didn't, it's not my kind of comedy. So, but it's not my show. It's not Bonnie Scotch's Drag Race. It's RuPaul's Drag Race. So you have to appeal to the humor of RuPaul. And RuPaul likes a lot of foolishness. I do as well, but I'm not a fan of like slapstick comedy and people falling down or POOP. I don't know if that's okay to say on YouTube. Like I don't like those kinds of jokes, that kind of thing. Anyway, let's move it along. We are on the runway now. The name of this runway, the theme of this runway is Ass the World Turns. Okay, so it's all things ass, 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 ass. Before we get to the runway, we have Candy in the workroom who is turd stirring. She's asking Alexis who did the worst on her team, and she's like, "Oh, it's James, isn't it?" Like doing that kind of thing, throwing out that kind of shade. And then she goes on to say, this is a direct quote from Candy. I wrote this down. "I don't think I control the girls. I just think I influence the girls, you know? I'm trying to plant seeds here and there to keep everybody's eyes off me." Candy, if that's the case, just go ahead and submit an application to be a producer on the show and not a contestant. If you want to be a producer, I'm sure they'll make space for you. But you're a contestant. So let the producers do their job. Okay? I feel like if Candy Muse put a quarter of the energy that she put into producing and puppeteering and, you know, orchestrating behind the scenes, if she put that into her looks, she wouldn't hit the corner in a corset every time that we see her. And I'm not even like being shady, I'm just being serious. Like, Lala and Heidi are talking about having fun in the competition and how they promised themselves that when they came into this, that they were just gonna have a blast and let it be a joyful experience. We see Candy takes that opportunity to jump into their convo. This is another direct quote. "How are you feeling now? Because last week you were over it, bitch." Now that we do a flashback to Heidi already explaining to Candy, Lala, and Kahana that she felt the judges were not seeing her. So Heidi is in this alliance with Jimbo and Candy, and she's annoyed with Candy for calling her out in front of everybody. She feels like this puts a target on her back right now, and it does, because you don't need to bring this moment up. Heidi explains to us that just because she has a bad day, this doesn't discount anything that she's done from the overall competition. Check the track record, check the numbers, bitch. Heidi clocked that Candy is trying to make others look bad, to take the attention away from her. She makes mention that she has tea on Candy and she's ready to spill it. Well, Heidi, bitch, I'm here with Fabuloso and a mop. Go ahead and spill it, because I want to know. I would like to know. Candy confided in Heidi outside of the workroom. "I have tea that will burn this competition down." That is a direct quote from Heidi in closet. This will go from best friend race to enemy race real fast. Candy. Candy, come here. Candy Muse, come. Come here, babe. Come. Come. Sit right here next to me. Come. Have a seat. Come in real close, my love. I want to have a chat with you. You can't stir the turd and be surprised when shit turns up on your spoon. You have an alliance with Heidi and Jimbo. Why are you throwing out this messy shit, trying to divert attention away from you? And Heidi is the right one, because she's letting you know, like, if you really want the smoke, we can air it out for real. Like, and I love that energy from Heidi. Like, don't let these bitches run all over you. Like, can I just say this? Candy in her season very much had this energy like she was running it. Like, you can't say nothing to her. Only she can say something to you. She can critique you and ask you a bunch of questions, but you can't say nothing back to her. And I just love to see the energy of somebody just being like, no, I will roll your ass like some dice. Like, I would like to see more of that. The North Kakalaki came out, as Lala said, and yeah, that's pretty much what the situation is. Like, you can't do that to everybody, Candy. There was a way to have handled that if that was what you really wanted to do. Like, if you were really concerned, like as a friend for Heidi, you would have pulled her aside. I mean, still do it on camera because it's a show, duh. My hair all messed up in the back. You would have pulled her to the side and you would have said, Heidi, I just want to check on you really quick because I love on you. I know that you were having a sore moment last week and I just want to make sure you're good. That would have been the way to handle that. But instead, you decided to blow her all up in front of the room. She's clearly having a key with Lala, feeling better. And you're like, well, Heidi, bitch, what about last week? Because you was over it, honey. Trying to make it seem like she doesn't want to be in the competition no more. And y'all know that Heidi is about to come and eat y'all's lunch. Because she just has a different fire, a different type of ambition in her. We all see it. And that's why we don't want Heidi to become discouraged and throw in the towel. Anyway, let's get off of this, child. Anyway, I just wanted to say, Candy, shut that mouth, Candy. Cállate la boca. Okay? Now we're on the main stage. We have RuPaul and like this charcoal gray kind of sequin number with the asymmetrical look. It was cute. It was alright. I feel like I've seen this silhouette plenty, you know. But it was nice enough. T.S. Madison was there. Maud Apatow is a guest judge. She was on Euphoria. I've never seen Euphoria. Michelle and Maddie look great. The standouts for me were James in this Aztec kind of number. The ass was perfect. The thighs were matching, honey. Darian looks great in copper and the red hair. I loved Alexis's wedding dress, the assless wedding dress, and she looked beautiful. Jessica's ass was flat. It stood out to me for the wrong reason, and I don't want to see this hair anymore. We've already seen this in the last episode. Heidi as Eeyore, this was a great idea, and this would have put Heidi in the top for me. Kahana looked like when Kahana came down this runway, I saw Lil Mama, and that's not shade, but they do favor each other. I was like, this is Lil Mama Montrese. Period. They look like they could be kin. All right, so we have the acting challenge. They are judged as teams. Okay, Alexis, Darian, and James were in the bottom three. Candy, Jimbo, and Jessica were in the top. Lala, Kahana, and Heidi were safe. Alexis tells the judges that this was Darian's idea pretty much. She rolls Darian Lake's ass up under the bus. Jimbo is the winner of this challenge. And Jimbo is lip syncing against Chanel from season 1. This is the 5th lip sync that she has lost. So I don't know if I want Jimbo in my top anymore because I didn't realize like you were losing all of these lip syncs, honey. Like, I don't know about that one. But anyway, I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a good episode. And I'm going to change my top. I'm going to change my top to Heidi, Lala, and James are my top 3. I feel like I've changed my top pretty much every episode so far this season. So next week, I'm almost pretty sure we have Snatch Game of Love, so I'm really excited for that. And you guys drop down in the comments, let me know your predictions, who are in your top 3, and also let me know what you thought about this episode. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you for the next episode. Peace.